Bangalore was once a sleepy garden town of tree-lined avenues. And before the glass towers arrived, this city had a soul carved from. 10 vintage landmarks still whisper the story of a Bangalore that the Bangalore Fort was built by Kempegowda in 1537. Only the Delhi Gate remains of what was once a formidable mud fortress. The bastions were dismantled to make way for a growing city. A single stone gateway now stands surrounded by the clamour of the Tipu Sultan Summer Palace is an oasis of teak and rosewood in. The entire structure is held together by wooden joints without a single. The walls are covered in frescoes depicting Tipu victories over the British. 200 years of monsoon have not faded the botanical pigments on. Bangalore Palace was commissioned in 1887 by the Wadiyar dynasty. The Tudor-style architecture with its turrets and battlements is unique in India. The ballroom chandeliers and stained glass windows survive from the Victorian era. The palace grounds once stretched for 400 acres of manicured gardens. Vidhana Sabha is the largest legislative building in India, built entirely from granite. Over 5,000 workers labored for 5 years to complete this neo. The building is illuminated every Sunday evening with thousands of golden bulbs. Its architecture fuses ancient temple design with the ambitions of a modern democracy. Attara Kacheri houses the Karnataka High Court in a grand colonial red edifice. Built in 1868, its name means 18 offices in Hindi. The neoclassical columns and sweeping staircases have witnessed over a century of justice. The building survived a demolition attempt in 1985 by public outcry. The Lalbagh Glass House was modeled on London Crystal Palace and built. The garden itself was established in 1760 by Hyder Ali across. Here's the thing. Kempegowda Watchtower still stands on a granite outcrop marking the city founder vision. The red floral clock and centuries-old trees preserve the garden's city. Mayo Hall was built in 1868 to honor a British. The building is topped by an ornate clock tower, visible from Cubbon. Its Victorian architecture now houses courts and government offices beneath dusty chandeliers. The wide verandas and high ceilings whisper of a colonial era long past. St. Mary's Basilica is the oldest church in Bangalore, established in the Gothic arches and stained glass windows were added by French missionaries. The church survived the Anglo-Mysore Wars and the Great Plague of. Every September, thousands gather here for the feast that has continued 3 centuries. The old cantonment transformed Bangalore from a provincial town into a cosmopolitan hub. British bungalows with wide verandas lined streets named after regiments and battles. South Parade became Mahatma Gandhi Road, but the colonial shade trees still stand. The Garden City avenues were planned so every street was a shaded promenade. 10 vintage landmarks holding the memory of a city that once breathed differently. The Bangalore of Kempegowda and Tipu Sultan still survives in these stones. Listen closely and the Garden City whispers its story through crumbling walls.